If you've ever signed up for something with the best intentions, a class, a program, a new routine, and then a few weeks later, you find yourself avoiding it, avoiding the gym, avoiding that class, avoiding even thinking about it, because now there's this weird layer of guilt sitting on top of it, then this video is for you. Not because you need another pep talk about discipline, and not because I'm about to tell you to want it more, but because there's a really good chance the problem was never you. It was the setup. Hi, I'm Dominique, the owner of Body Mind Fitness. I'm a personal trainer, registered yoga teacher, a nutrition coach, a core and pelvic floor expert, and a teacher of yoga teachers. And I help women build strength, body awareness, and confidence in how they move, especially if you've ever felt a little lost or out of place in traditional fitness spaces. My studio is located in London, Ontario, but I work with women all over the world through my online platforms. Now, if you're enjoying this video, it really helps and it's completely free if you hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss an upload. I think one of the most frustrating things about trying to build a movement practice is how quickly people make it mean something about themselves when it just doesn't stick. Like if you miss a few classes or you fall out of your routine, you just suddenly lose that momentum. Suddenly the story becomes, I'm not disciplined. I can never stay consistent and I always fall off. And I just don't think that's true for most people because when people start something new, they don't just dip their toes in, they go all in. They try to work out 5 days a week. They overhaul their entire diet and they throw out everything in their cupboards that isn't clean. It becomes this full life reset overnight. And for about a week or two, it feels great. It feels motivating. It feels exciting, like you're finally doing something. It feels like this is it. This is the time it finally sticks until it doesn't. Because life does what life does. You get tired, your kid gets sick, work gets busy, you miss one workout. And somehow that one missed workout turns into, I failed. I'm off track. I just need to start all over again. Forget the fact that you showed up for 2 weeks, the fact that you were building something, and the fact that you were actually doing really well. Everything gets thrown out because of one moment, one missed week, one missed workout. And that's where people lose it. Not because they can't do it, but because they think they've already ruined it. One of the simplest things that stuck with me from Atomic Habits, it's a book by James Clear, was this. If you miss one day, you don't start over. You just show up the next time you plan to. Never skip 2 planned days. That's it. If your plan was, and I'm talking about like your fitness plan, let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you miss Wednesday, you go back on Friday and do whatever you plan to do on Friday. You don't rewind, you don't punish yourself, and you don't turn it into an entire identity crisis. You just keep going. That is what consistency actually looks like. And on top of that, we're constantly surrounded by the next best thing. The new program, the new challenge, the new method that is working for everyone else and their mom. And it's so easy to think, maybe that's the thing I need. But most of the time, it's not about finding something new. It's about finding something that actually fits your life. Something that doesn't fall apart the second life gets a little bit messy. And we all know life is going to get a little bit messy often. The things that last usually have a few things in common. They feel doable, they make sense in your body, and they happen in a space where you don't feel like you're constantly falling behind. Because if every class feels like you're scrambling or guessing or even second guessing or even just trying to keep up, your body's not going to want to come back. It doesn't care how good for you the workout is. It just remembers how it felt. This is exactly why I teach the way I do. I'm not interested in throwing random movements at you and hoping something sticks. I am building classes knowing that you're going to be there. What are your goals? What are you working on? What tends to feel good in your body and what doesn't? That's a huge part of why the 12-week series exists and why it works so well. Because it's not just come to yoga, it's structure, it's progression, it's actually building something instead of starting over every Monday like it's a cursed little tradition. I have clients and students who have been with me for years. Not because I'm standing over them with a whistle and a clipboard and screaming about commitment, but because the environment works. They feel supported. They know what to expect. They feel safe asking questions. They are constantly being met where they are, even as they continue to grow, and they feel seen. And when people feel that way, consistency stops being something we're chasing after, this giant uphill battle. It becomes part of life. That's the goal, not white knuckling your way through another program, actually building something you can stay with. So if you've been telling yourself, I'll probably fall off again, I want you to consider this. Maybe you didn't need more discipline. Maybe you needed something that actually supports you right here, right now. The 12-week personalized small group yoga series is designed to do exactly that. It gives you structure. It gives you guidance. It gives you a space where you can build strength, confidence, mobility, and real consistency over time. Not necessarily perfectly and not all at once, but in a way that actually lasts. And registration is open right now with 3 classes to choose from. We've got yoga for core and pelvic health, which is where we go deep into the tips and strategies to help you reduce or even eliminate your biggest pelvic floor concerns like pant peeing, lower back pain, hip pain, etc., etc., etc. And we then add these tips and strategies into movements because that's where you start to feel your symptoms. So we want to prepare you so you can be supported in everyday life. It's a combination of release work and strength work because the pelvic floor needs both to function optimally. And we also learn how to engage the core and the abdominals properly, which directly affects your pelvic health. Then we have yoga for mobility and strength, which combines the yoga poses you know with the strength training you need. And yes, we do bring resistance bands and weights into the class, but we don't do it on day one. We start off with the mobility stuff. And then finally, we have yoga for stretch and release, which combines gentler yoga poses with soft tissue release to help ease pain, increase your flexibility and your range of motion, and to help keep you injury-free. These classes are available locally here at the studio or online from anywhere in the world, and there are a ton of perks and bonuses waiting for you when you join. You can learn more about the series, bonuses, and the specific classes through my website and the link available in the description, as well as the pinned comment. If you've been thinking about it, watching from the sidelines, or waiting to feel more ready, this is your moment to step in fully. Register for the 12-week series below. You're not inconsistent. You've just never been supported in the right way yet. And once that changes, everything else starts to feel a whole lot easier. Just a quick reminder, you don't have to do everything perfectly to make progress and real change. You just have to keep showing up in a way that feels doable for you. Now, if something in this video helped, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I read them carefully, I care, and it helps me create more of what you actually need. And if you're ready for more support, whether that's strength, mobility, or just reconnecting with your body in a way that feels good again, you can find all the ways to work with me in the description below. I'll see you in the next one.